This is Wildcat Walkthrough, and here are your hosts, Luca and Jesse.
Welcome to Wildcat Walkthrough, UNH's premier student recap of all things Wildcats. I'm Jesse Marzullo.
And I'm Luca Villanova. To start this week's show, we go to Smiley to Shays for a look into women's field hockey in their final game of the season versus Columbia.
On Saturday, the Wildcats took on the Columbia Lions at home for senior night. The Wildcats have 6 seniors and 2 grad students on the team, including Mari Shea, Lily Rothwell, Gigi Fay, Reagan Calcari, Leah Glyden, Lindsay Lee, Gemma Woods, and Lily Rothwell. The Cats and Lions had been evenly matched all game, and this led to not 1 overtime, but 2, as Nicole Polakis, who's a sophomore, got the game-winning goal, as Gemma Woods was able to keep the Columbia Lions scoreless. With this win, the Wildcats end their season with a 12-6 record, with an outstanding home record of 8-1 on the season. The Wildcats finished this year with 57 goals and 89 saves. The goal leader of the season was Tasman Cookman with 18 goals and 5 assists. Another key contributor was sophomore Nicole Polakis with 13 goals and 11 assists. The Wildcats will be playing UMaine in an American East Championship game at Maine on Thursday, November 2nd at 3 p.m. Last time New Hampshire took on Maine this season, they had a 6-0 victory, as they hope to keep this energy going into this championship game. For the Wildcat Walkthrough, I'm Smiley to Shays.
UNH is looking to grab their 4th America East Championship and their first one since 2012.
The Wildcats swim and dive team faced Central Connecticut State Blue Devils this past weekend and recorded their fastest time in 7 out of 9 events faced. The 2-day meet resulted in a 203.5 to 141.5 win for UNH, with Ella Guilfoyle setting a career best in the 500 free with 5 minutes, 7.54 seconds. Audrey Mahoney, Abby McKinney, Annie Yanchova, and Kiara Pradicito finished the meet strong, recording their quickest time at 3 minutes, 33.76 seconds. The Cats are now 2-0 in the season and look to improve their record on Sunday, November 5th at Siena College.
The women's cross-country team finished in 5th place in the America East Cross-Country Championship. Jill Walker was UNH's top finisher with an 18-minute, 15.19 time. The men's cross-country team secured a 3rd-place finish at the America East Championship. Aiden Shea was UNH's top finisher with a time of 25 minutes and 14.06 seconds.
The volleyball team swept the Merrimack Warriors on Tuesday in a quick 3-0 match. After a back-and-forth first set, the Wildcats secured a 27-25 win, 25-19 in the second, and 25-22 in the third. The Cats' defensive game led to a win with 39 kills, 21 assists, and 5 blocks. The Wildcats' record now 14-8, 3-3 in America East.
The women's hockey team hit a roadblock coming into conference play this past weekend against the Vermont Catamounts. On Friday, the Cats put up a fight in the first half of the game, but ultimately Vermont scored 3 third-period goals, securing their victory. On Saturday, the Wildcats were ready for revenge, pushing the game into overtime thanks to a late goal by Annie Berry. In an overtime heartbreaker, the Catamounts took the victory, sweeping the Wildcats this past weekend. Coming up, Aria Clamola talks to Cy LeClerc about the nationally ranked men's hockey team's strong start to the season.
Welcome back to Wildcat Walkthrough.
Now we go to Aria Clamola, who sat down with sophomore hockey phenom Cy LeClerc.
Some team goals are that we want to make the NCAA tournament and to win the Hockey East Championship. Those are pretty much our 2 goals.
On Saturday, October 28th, the men's hockey team took on Dartmouth the Big Green. The Cats came off a high going into this game with just beating 17th-ranked Northeastern Huskies 4-1 this past Thursday, October 26th. The men's hockey team has now defeated 3 different ranked teams, including number 1 Boston University and number 4 Quinnipiac University, while the Wildcats being ranked this week at 15. Talk about how you set your teammates up with scoring opportunities.
I feel like we just have good chemistry as a line. Me, Devlin, and Conley, I feel like we know we're in the right spots and we know where each other are. So I feel like it's just easy. Give them the puck in good spots to score. So it's been good so far.
On Saturday, the Wildcats came out with another big win, beating the Big Green 3-1, with goals by Nick Ring, Colton Heward, and Harrison Blaisdell. The Cats were off to a slow start in the first period of a tight game of 0-0. Nick Ring opened the floodgates for the Wildcats, scoring a goal 4 minutes into the second period with an assist from Morgan Winters. Then, Colton Heward secured their lead by scoring only 6 minutes later with an assist from LeClerc. Dartmouth would respond with a goal scored by John Fusco 5 minutes into the third period. The Wildcats answered by scoring their first goal of the night by Harrison Blaisdell 7 minutes into the third period. This win puts the Wildcats at 4-1-0 on the season and currently 2-0-0 in Hockey East.
I feel like we're more tight group together. We hang out more and stuff, and I feel like it creates a lot of chemistry for us. And we work harder in practice against each other and compete hard. So it's just been a lot easier playing against harder teams this year, I feel like.
One of the standout players on this new and improved Wildcat team is LeClerc, sophomore forward. What personal goals do you have for yourself going into the rest of the season?
I think 2 personal goals is 1, to be better defensively, and 2, just be a better leader in the locker room and on the ice.
LeClerc has had a great season so far with the Wildcats, and he's just getting started. The sophomore has 3 goals and 3 assists so far this season, including the memorable game-winning goal defeating Quinnipiac. He is tied for first on the team with goals alongside Steven Sadarian. What has changed for your Hockey East matchups, in particular from last season to this season?
I feel like last year we didn't have the skill or compete level to beat the top teams like BU, Northeastern, UConn. But I feel like this year we can kind of compete with them with the amount of skill we have and the depth we have on our team this year. So I think that's the biggest change from last year.
UNH is at the top of the Hockey East standings right now, and they are not ready to give that spot up. These games this weekend will be crucial wins as Providence is in their division. For Wildcat Walkthrough, this is Aria Klamola.
The men's hockey team travels to Providence on Saturday, November 4th to take on Providence College. This is the first top 20 matchup for the Cats in the season.
As the men's soccer team prepares for the America East postseason tournament, Wildcat Walkthrough's Aiden Murphy recaps the team's success this season.
The 11th-ranked New Hampshire men's soccer team concluded yet another spectacular season as they hosted the Vermont Catamounts, who boast the nation's 5th-best defense. The 2 teams battled it out on Tuesday night to decide which team would take home the America East #1 seed.
A lot of preparation going into these last few days and stuff. We've had a rough history with Vermont the last few seasons, so there was a lot of emotions and stuff going into it, but it was important that we just stayed focused, stuck to our game plan. We knew they were going to bring a lot of intensity, big team, big guys, and a lot of physicality. So, we prepared really well these last few days, and we knew what they were going to bring.
What originally looked like it was going to be a defensive affair started out hot for the Wildcats. In the 8th minute, graduate forward Georgios Koloniadis took a pass from Tague Healy up the right sideline. He sliced a shot through the legs of Vermont defender Zach Barrett and past goalkeeper Owen Jack to put the Wildcats ahead 1-0. Vermont quickly gathered themselves, however, and put some pressure on UNH. Sidney Wathuta took a wide-open shot from outside the box, but Wildcats goalkeeper Joseba Anthera was able to make a diving stop to keep New Hampshire in front. Both teams had their fair share of opportunities the rest of the half, highlighted by a crossbar-ringing shot by UNH's Dominic Correa, but the score stayed knotted at half. For the first 20 minutes of the second half, the Catamounts seemed to be in control of the game and were able to get multiple shot opportunities. With 24 minutes to go in the game, however, Correa wrung a penalty kick off the goalpost, starting a scramble drill in front of the Catamounts' net. Bilal Kamal took a shot off the rebound, and it was Eli Goldman who fought through contact to corral Kamal's rebound and bury the Wildcats' second goal of the night. New Hampshire kept attacking down the stretch and drew a foul from Barrett, who was administered a red card. Down a man for the last few minutes of the game, Vermont stood no chance as New Hampshire clinched home field advantage in the America East playoffs yet again.
Starting from leadership, starting with the coaches, and just, becoming one big family, that's been the key to our success so far this year. And, this is a big night for us, first trophy down, and I can't wait, to get into playoffs.
The Wildcats season started a bit rough with a tie at VCU and a loss at home against Cornell through 4 games. But since that loss on September 4th, New Hampshire has won or tied 12 straight games to vault themselves back into the upper half of the United Soccer Coaches poll. With the home win against Vermont, the Wildcats now look forward to postseason glory.
you guys are the reason why we have so much success here, is all the fans that come. I know at this point of the year it gets chilly, it gets cold, and it's not always pleasant to be out here, but it means so much and it helps us so much on the field when you guys are out here causing noise, filling up the stands. So, we just got to keep that going. And I know you guys are going to do it, so I can't wait.
New Hampshire now enters the America East Tournament as the top seeds, seeking a 6th straight championship appearance and their 5th conference title under Mark Hubbard. That isn't the ultimate goal, however, as they'll also look to make another deep push in the NCAA tournament this year. For Wildcat Walkthrough, I'm Aidan Murphy.
You can see the Cats play in the America East semifinals this Wednesday at Wildcat Stadium.
Coming up, Thomas Sturidi previews football's Saturday afternoon showdown with the Villanova Wildcats.
Welcome back to Wildcat Walkthrough. After coming off an overtime loss on the road, the Wildcats look to bounce back at home versus Villanova this weekend. For a preview on the game, here's Thomas Sturidi.
Following a heartbreaking loss in Rhode Island last week, the Wildcats return home to take on the Villanova Wildcats. The loss brings New Hampshire to a record of 4-4 on the season and 2-3 in the conference.
The first 3 quarters were back and forth, and after going down 28-20 with 13 minutes left of the game, UNH fought back. After a 77-yard touchdown drive, the Cats tied the game with a successful 2-point conversion. The game went to overtime after each team missed a field goal in the final minutes. Again, the Cats missed another field goal in overtime, which set Rhode Island up to rush in for the game-winning touchdown. Despite the loss, junior quarterback Max Brosmer and senior Dylan Laube still had career days for the Wildcats. Brosmer completed a career-high 41 passes for 430 yards, and Laube had a career-high 13-catch performance, which led to 128 yards. This week, they will look to build off their strong play and win against Villanova. UNH is 4-0 all-time at home versus Villanova and 14-11 overall against them. In the last battle, the Wildcats, New Hampshire took away a 28-20 victory in 2019. Max Brosmer was a freshman at the time and had 3 touchdowns along with 276 yards in the game. Also on the team was Dylan Laube, who only had 2 rushes for 10 yards, but 4 receptions for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. The duo will look to bounce back from last week's loss with another win over Villanova this week.
Come watch the Cats take on Villanova Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. at Wildcat Stadium. For Wildcat Walkthrough, I'm Thomas Sturidi.
The football team has 2 regular season games remaining, visiting Monmouth on November 11th and returning home for the whiteout game against rival UMaine.
The men's basketball team heads to the JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse, New York to take on the Syracuse Orange this Monday evening. The game is streaming on the ACC network. The start of the regular season for both teams marks the first ever matchup between the Wildcats and the Orange.
That will do it for this week's episode of Wildcat Walkthrough. I'm Luca Villeneuve.
And I'm Jessie Marzillo. It's always a great day to be a Wildcat.